Ms. Jameson, you claim that Mr. Hicks agreed to sublet the apartment he was living in to you without the permission of the landlord. And the only way you learned about this is when you went to the landlord to try and get him to make necessary repairs to make the place livable. You are suing for $4,200 that you paid him in rent for this illegal sublet. Now, Mr. Hicks, you say that you only let her live with you as a favor to her, and that once you did that, you couldn't get rid of her. In fact, you had to hire a lawyer to evict her, and the only way you got her out of there was when the place had an electrical fire. So let me start with you, Ms. Jameson. Tell us how you came to live with him.
From what he told me is that he was dealing with some situation on his job. He wasn't working or whatever the situation is. Supposedly he was being discriminated against. That's what he told me. And he was on unemployment or waiting for unemployment. He was running out of savings. And that's how I came to live there.
Were you two dating at all?
No.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hicks, what is your explanation for how it was that she began living with you?
She called me up one day. This was after we had stopped hanging out. She said that she had some kind of argument with her mother. She needed a place to stay. The way she made it sound is that she couldn't go back there. I asked how long. She said 2 weeks to the end of the month. I said, fine. She came in, I let her stay. It kept getting extended because this situation, that situation. And then eventually when I was like, look, you gotta go, that's when she hit me with well, in New York, 30 days, you're a legal tenant.
Okay. And you say at some point you had to hire a lawyer, you say?
Yes.
And there was an electrical fire.
Yes.
First, if we can take a look at the place. So let's start with that right here, if we can. This is a place, Mr. Hicks, that you had been renting?
Well, that was after the fire.
Okay. This was after the fire. Okay. How long had you been in this apartment?
Before she came around, 10 years.
Were you up to date on your rent at the time that she started living there?
Yes.
So when did she start living with you?
August 2022.
Is that when you recall living with him?
No, May around there, May 2022.
It was not May.
It was May because
No,
I'm a
it wasn't.
notary in the state of New York and that was my address.
Do you have any pictures here that show the place before the fire?
I didn't have any pictures of the apartment because I didn't think this would happen. So no.
You provided to us a roommate agreement as well as a sublet agreement, correct?
That is correct.
That puts the start date of this agreement, and we'll put this right up here, as May 1st of 2022.
Yes.
Right? But this agreement wasn't signed until September of 2023.
The reason why is because once I found out, because I already gave him an agreement, but he never got it signed by the landlord. So when
She did not.
I'll give you a chance, sir.
This is the eviction notice that he got right here. This is it right here. His landlord gave him this. He owed over $8,000 in rent. So I made it very clear to him that if he wants me to pay it, he has to give me a roommate and sublease agreement, but his landlord has to agree as well.
But why didn't you just start it on the date that you signed it in September of 2023? Why did you backdate it a year and a couple
Because
months?
that's how long I've been there.
Now, you're suing for $4,200, and what is the basis of that?
I'm suing him because he was collecting rent from me.
And you were living in the place.
Yes, I was living there. But I have him on videotape saying that I wasn't paying him
What
any
does
rent.
that have to do with this? You're suing him.
Right.
So I'm still trying to get to the bottom of where the $4,200 comes from. You paid him for rent.
Right.
And you lived there.
That is correct. But he had no permission to take it from me.
Sir, what's your position on that? Was she paying your rent?
I guess you could call it rent. Initially, I told her, as long as you're here, you have to chip in for food, cigarettes, and other household products. That was the $200 a week. So she was giving me off and on $800. Then in November, I want to say 2022, she stopped chipping in for household necessities. And that lasted until she came up with that agreement, which I eventually signed because it had an exit date on it. She said she would leave on January 31st, so I signed it.
And ma'am, you signed that lease, and he is correct there that the lease ended in January 2024. Did you leave in January 2024?
No.